So I have an update for everybody on the East Palestine train derailment and chemical fire. Jordan Sheridan is doing phenomenal work on the ground there. They say, for weeks, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has repeatedly contradicted himself and lied on whether East Palestine, Ohio is safe. Yesterday, after receiving a letter from the rail union about sick cleanup workers, he said, quote, "I'm not aware of it at all." Wow. So he gets a letter about how the cleanup workers are getting sick, and then he does an interview after the letter, and when he's asked about it, he's like, I don't even know what you're talking about, bro. What does that even mean, bro? All right, so they put together a little video on this. Let's watch. Nearly a month after the Norfolk Southern train derailment and explosion in East Palestine, Ohio, on March 1st, Governor Mike DeWine states the goal here is to make this community safe, but it, quote, can't happen overnight. So the translation there is, it's not safe yet.
Look, I mean, the whole goal here is to, make this community safe, doing the things that they need to do so that you're slowly making that better.
What are you hearing about the health of the residents there and the people working to remove this toxic waste, Governor?
People who are reporting symptoms, we don't know what those causes were. Many of them believe that it came about because of the train derailment.
On March 1st, Governor DeWine and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg received a letter from the Teamsters Union expressing concern about rail workers who are working on the train derailment.
The unions accused Norfolk Southern of putting workers at risk.
On the train derailment cleanup, experiencing serious health symptoms. Okay, so March 1st, they're told,
the
hey, the cleanup workers are
Norfolk
sick.
Southern of putting workers at risk by not providing personal protective gear.
Now union work.
That's good. So they're cleaning it up and they don't have the proper protective gear. That's good. It reminds me of, and Jordan Sheridan reported this as well with Status Quo, that they sent germ cleaners to people's houses to try to make them feel safe. But that was just safety theater. Because germ cleaners, that has nothing to do with chemicals. It was just theater. It was just theater.
Speaking out saying that they have been getting sick as well.
What about the rail workers involved in the cleanup? Are they showing any symptoms themselves?
I'm not aware of that at all. Although
that's a total lie. Just a total lie. This was after he received the letter that was saying, hey, the cleanup workers are getting sick.
On the other hand, where I'm standing in the park, there's kids over there playing basketball. Fran and I were in the school today, talked to just hundreds of kids, it seemed like. And, if you didn't know that this tragedy had occurred and this big wreck had occurred, just talking to these kids, they were talking about things that you would expect kids to talk about.
Have any of you all experienced any sort of symptoms when this happened?
Yeah, my little brother Jameson, my mom had to rush to the hospital. My left eye, I have it was burning, and my mom has chemical burns in her eyes, and it's gross.
I have something else too. When I take a shower with the shower water, I end up getting burns all over my legs. It itches and burns.
Status Quo has spoken with dozens of East Palestine and nearby residents. Many are experiencing nosebleeds, burning eyes, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, headache, sore throat, and other health symptoms. We've showed some of those videos as well from Status Quo, interviewing people on the ground. They're saying we're having some serious health issues here. Look, what's astonishing is not that they lie. What's astonishing is the brazenness of the lies. That's what's astonishing. How they'll say something that they know is untrue, but they're just doing optics management. That's all it is. That's all it is. And again, you wonder why people don't have trust in institutions anymore. You're looking at it. You're looking at why. It reminds me of the beginning of COVID when Fauci was out there saying, you don't need a mask. You don't need a mask. It's fine. Then later on we learned, he was lying. He knew he was lying. He wanted to save the masks for the frontline health workers. You could have just come out and said that. But he didn't say that. He lied. They lied time and time and time again. At the beginning, they said, the vaccines totally prevent even the spread of COVID. Well, we learned now that wasn't true. Now, it did prevent it better at the beginning than it does now, right? It's gotten less and less effective in terms of dealing with the transmission. It was somewhat effective back in the day, but it still was never perfect. But we were told, hey, no, this stops it dead in its tracks. Not true. Not true. And so I don't know if these people even realize the damage that they're doing. Because not only do they undermine trust in themselves, they undermine trust in all institutions. And in order for a country to function, you need institutions and you need some semblance of trust in the institutions. But now the mask has been off for so long and in such an egregious way that we need to totally revamp the institutions. Every single government agency that was involved in this has been lying. The governor is flat out lying, brazenly, to our faces. And there's got to be consequences for that, man. There has to be. There has to be. So, it's just stunning. He gets the letter saying, cleanup workers are sick. Then he goes on TV and says, I haven't heard anything about that. By the way, one of the main reasons they do this, they all the politicians, take the word of the company at face value. And they run with the narrative the company feeds them. Think about how embarrassing that is. Here you have a company that is responsible for this train derailment and chemical fire. They caused it with their lack of regulation and safety standards. They're responsible, them and the corrupt politicians. And when they say, everything's fine, bro, you're going to take their word for it? They have every reason in the world to lie to protect their own asses. And you're just going to take their word for it and run with it. They're lazy, and they're trying to do optics management, and so that's what they do. As opposed to being honest. Because honesty sometimes would lead to a panic. Well, guess what? People who are in the near vicinity, who are dealing with poisoned water, and are breathing in toxic chemicals, maybe they should panic. Maybe sometimes panic is the correct reaction. And if the government was being honest with them and telling them what they should do, like get out of there, might be hard, might be difficult, might cost money, but it would be the right thing to do. Anyway, good work here from Status Coup yet again. And it really exposes the whole ugly, disgusting charade as what it is, doesn't it? If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.